gets. Yeah, better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head's as hard as a brick, I'm harder than all that is. You better move, you might get knocked. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. My heart on my sleeve, stress, shield my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no giving. Some days I don't hit, I don't slay. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. They don't wonder when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know this because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem. I ain't perfect. Let them watch me elevating. Got them nauseous cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the option. Woo! Watch how I get it here. Watch how I get it here. Watch how I get it here.
It's time! Welcome to DFS by the Numbers with your host, Brady.
Better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my final thoughts for UFC 278. We have Kamaru Usman going against Leon Edwards 2, looking forward to it. We do have a 12-fight card. We were supposed to have 13 fights, and if you guys know me, you guys know that I am a big fan of fight IQ. I'm a big fan of good game planning, and Shanny Young came in with the best damn game plan you could. Shanny Young pulled out of the fight. Great fight IQ. Hey, she does not fight. She does not lose against Miranda Maverick. So shout out to Shanny Young. She did not lose against Miranda Maverick. So 12 fights. And yeah, this card it's pretty good. Am I paying for this card? No, I'm not. Will I be watching this card? I actually won't be. I will be off to my honeymoon for the week, taking the week off, going to Florida. So I will not be catching the card live. But no, I will not be paying $80 for Lucy Pudilova, Yanan Wu. I will not be paying $80 for Tyson Pedro to knock out Harry Hunsucker in 30 seconds. But other than that, Paulo Costa, Luke Rockhold, phenomenal fight. Rob Dvalishvili, Jose Aldo, phenomenal fight. And then a really good main event for Kamaru Usman, Leon Edwards. So yeah, I think the card's very good. Looking forward to it. I have a ton of action on this card. Looking to close out a 12-week stretch. It's been a grind. It's been stressful as well. I think I'm like 7-5 in terms of winning and losing events. Would love to make it 8-5, closing this week stretch, 12-week stretch out with a win here. And hopefully able to do so. Before we get started, if you guys can please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, trying to keep growing the channel here. Lots of stuff going on throughout the week. As always, I will be researching the Contender Series tonight, getting all that done tonight, and then getting out the Week 5 Contender Series very early, sometime tomorrow, before I head out to Florida there. So, lots to talk about, guys. Before we get started, do you want to shout out the chat? And we got the first one in here is Tony. What is up, Tony? What is up, Brady? Cannot wait to see Luke knocked cold. Luke knocked cold. I like it. Get deaded. Yeah, I think that exactly happened there. We got Trey. What is up, Trey? How you doing? Saying, what is up, Brady? I'm going to pay $80 to watch Luke Rockhold get knocked the F out. LMAO. Let's make some money. Yep, that is definitely why you are tuning in. I don't think you'll be paying $80 for that Wu Yanan fight. We got Ryan in the chat. Let's go, Brady. Let's go, Ryan. We got Mushman in the chat saying, what is up, Brady and Weezy? Let's go. Violence, Usman, round 4 KO. Can't wait to talk about the main event. John saying, Brady, give me your final thoughts. That is exactly what I'm going to do. We got Bill in the chat. What is up, Bill? Saying, let's smash this card so we can enjoy the week break. That is 100% the goal. Cole saying, Brady, let's go. You were right. Maybe Shanny Young does have some good fight IQ. Yeah, she showed phenomenal fight IQ, pulling out of the fight. Next level fight IQ from one Shanny Young. Congrats, Shanny Young. You did it. You did not lose the fight. And we are back, Lou Betcha. Shout out to Lou Betcha. The moderator, we love the moderator in here. We got Mr. Ray. What is up, Ray? And now, yes, we got Nathan saying, praying Costa and the secret juice can send Luke to the Shadow Realm. He has been looking so uncomfortable this week. He has been looking a little bit different. He's now 37, 38 years old. Cannot wait for that fight. If Leon wins, I'll try beans on toast. Oh, I will never be trying something like that. But I know a lot of people do like that. What's up, Brady? Gotta support Albazi for my country. Yeah, Albazi's a beast, man. Glad he's gonna be back. Meatball saying, if Costa says USADA's never caught him, then they've never caught him. Yeah, they never caught him. Free Africa saying, this track, yeah, I like it. Towards the one saying, Luke better move. He might get knocked out cold. Yeah, I think so. We got Blood Money. What is up, Blood Money? Been waiting all week for this. Yeah, Blood Money will be one of the 3 other guys with me tomorrow on Best Bet. It is Blood Money, it is Narco Cop, and it is Whiz Bets. Cannot wait to talk with these guys, giving our best bet. Don't get why everyone hates Luque. Yeah, people seem like they don't like him. Freaking awesome track. Appreciate that. Where is Cody? Yeah, Cody will be on tomorrow for best bet. We got Tajik Bey, the GOAT, in the house. What is up? Shanny Young, best game plan of the weekend. Absolutely. Love me some good game plan. Brady has temerity? Never heard of that word. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. To enjoy his honeymoon over a Wu Yanan fight. Yeah, I would definitely choose the honeymoon over the Wu Yanan fight. Lou's been trying to get me to bet on the Wu fight. I think he has like a side bet with Weezy that I'm going to end up with a bet on the Wu fight. Yeah, you're not going to win that bet. I'm not betting on that fight. 0% chance, Lou. Come on. Appreciate that, Cole. KO saying, let's get some money. Let's get it. People are sleeping on Hunsucker. I did see a tweet from BetOnline, the BetOnline guy, right? And it said like 80% of the bets are actually coming on Hunsucker. So I don't know. I think a lot of people are giving Hunsucker a shot. Hunsucker doesn't look so fat anymore. No, Hunsucker is dropping to light heavyweight. So no, he looks to be in better shape for sure. Appreciate that meatball. Appreciate that blood money. Uncle Weez is saying it's been very stressful being a content creator for these last 12 weeks. Yeah. People don't understand it. Being a content creator is extremely stressful. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scene, like hours of things that go on behind the scenes. Just a ton of work put into it. We got Jan saying, let's go, let us go. We got Aaron in the chat as well. How do you feel about Tybura Romanov going into the second round? I personally think it does. What is up with you? How you doing? Rest in peace, Luke Rockhold. Sean Woodson, round 2, 3K. We'll talk about that. Usman, round 4K. We'll talk about that for sure. Lubetia, the best troll emitter in the game. Absolutely. Shout out to Lubetia. Let's see here. I just want to say I cashed in on the Brady weight loss journey. That was at minus 175, and I took it easy money. Yeah, and Meatball saying the over-under was 59.5 pounds. Yeah, almost doubled that. Let's see what else we got, and then we'll get into it, guys. Welcome to the Hunsucker era. Absolutely. Priscilla's Cachoeira striking defense. I love it. Shout out to Priscilla. And then Zaya with the dono. Appreciate you, Zaya. $10 dono does go a long way. You're always supporting here. It does mean a lot, man. I think we covered everything in here. All right, guys, we will get started. I have a lot to talk about, and we will get started with the first fight of the night. Victor Altamirano going against Daniel Da Silva. And I do have 2 bets here. So I have a couple parlays. I did put 2 parlays in on Sunday because I figured these lines are going to move, and they're going to move very fast. And that was the case. One of the parlay pieces was Miranda Maverick, and I parlayed her at like minus 350, like minus 360, something like that. And like in that range. And she's like minus 670. Just it's a little suspicious, man. I mean, Maverick opened up like minus 350, minus 340. She was now minus 670. And all of a sudden, the fight's off. So a little suspicious there. But Miranda Maverick was one of my parlay pieces. But another parlay piece I did have was the under 2.5 in the Altamirano Daniel Da Silva fight. Daniel Da Silva is the definition of a killer be killed fighter. We have a couple of those on this card. This is the first one. Daniel Da Silva, I believe it's 14 professional fights. He has never seen the scorecards. He has never seen the third round. And he's only been to the second round a handful of times, right? He's going to go in there. He's going to try to take your head off. If the fight hits the mat, he's going to look for submissions, and he's very aggressive on the mat. Definitely submission over position. He's looking for that finish at all times. We saw him when he got into the second round against Jeff Molina. He looked like he's never been there, and that is because he is very rarely ever in a second round, and he looked like he had nothing left. I think that's the case here. I think Daniel Da Silva has a good chance to go out there and finish Altamirano in the first round. But if he doesn't, Altamirano is going to take over, and I think he finishes a gassed out Daniel Da Silva. And we'll talk about this throughout the show. We are in Salt Lake at high elevation, and that is going to favor guys with good cardio, and it's going to be a detriment to guys with bad cardio. Daniel Da Silva is one of the we have a lot of guys on this card with very bad cardio, and Daniel Da Silva is one of them. So, yeah, I think Altamirano does survive the first round and does take over and finishes Da Silva late. But, the bet I have is the under 2.5 in a parlay, and I also have 1 unit on the fight doesn't go decision at minus 185. That line has been hit. It's a very popular play that this fight's going to finish inside the distance. It's And it's very overpriced there. We're paying like minus 230 at this point, minus 240 for the fight doesn't go. And typically you will not see lines like this in a flyweight fight, but this is a Dano da Silva fight. He's a killer be killed fighter, and I think that trend does continue here. So fight doesn't go for me, under 2.5 for me. On DraftKings, I think it's a very good fight to target. First fight of the night, Dano da Silva. If he wins, it's probably in the first round. And if Altrano wins, it's probably a finish in that second or third round as well. So the pick, I suppose, is Altamirano, but the bet is the under 2.5, and also the fight doesn't go to decision. Is there a way to see your track record of bets? I'm pretty new to the channel. Absolutely, Paul. All my bets are tracked on Bet MMA Tips. I believe my name on there is DFS by the numbers. Victor looks so small on the scale. Yeah, he's a very small guy for sure. And I'm not a big fan of Victor. I'm not a big fan of his takedown defense. He's getting taken down a ton, but I think Da Silva's going to have opportunities. He will definitely have opportunities. I could see Dvalishvili catching Aldo and sleeping him late round 2. I don't see that, but anything can happen. It's an MMA fight. Blood Money with the dono, $10. Appreciate you, Blood Money. Happy honeymoon, Brady. Thank you so much, Blood Money. Cannot wait to do a show with you tomorrow. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be so much fun, and do appreciate the dono a ton. Altrano by sub. That's kind of where I'm leaning as well. Love how I got Miranda minus 320 2 weeks ago, and Shanny Young pulls out, but Luque couldn't pull out last week. Yeah, apparently Luque did fight with some injuries. She said she hasn't been doing a ton of training, which just completely makes no sense to me. Why would you get a fight scheduled? I think it was scheduled in like October. Why would you bump up that fight and fight months early when you're dealing with injury? I mean, it makes no sense. I guess the pay might have been right. Something's not adding up here, but yeah, Miranda, I was tempted to actually max better at minus 340. Ended up not doing that, but I did parlay her, and I was going to have also an inside the distance bet on Miranda Maverick. But yeah, Shanny Young pulled out. It's weird. Mushroom liking some violence. Mushroom liking the fight doesn't go under 2.5. Fight won't start round 3. Absolutely all over those. Jan under 2.5 early for minus 143. Phenomenal line. I know Thomas, I believe they call him Thomas unders now. He got the fight doesn't go at something crazy like plus money, and that did, like, the under 2.5 in this fight opened up like plus 165, which is nuts. Most exposed fighter for me was Miranda Maverick. This is not good. Yeah, I was gonna have a lot of exposure on Maverick. Blood Money with another dono. Appreciate Blood Money saying, enjoy a drink, a celebration drink, brother. Appreciate that. I will definitely be getting a lot of drinks, and the $10 will go a long way towards that. Appreciate you, man. How many units on the under 2.5? So I have it in a parlay with something else. We'll talk about the parlay pieces as we go on. This is one of them. Just a unit on that parlay. Just a unit on it. What kind of freaking question is this? If you had to kiss someone on the main card, who would it be? It'd be Yanan Wu. That's a pretty easy question for me. It's Yanan Wu. I mean, how could I, Yanan Wu, I suppose. My goodness. I had Miranda at minus 320. Also very annoying. Yeah, it's annoying, man. It's annoying. What is up, B? How you doing? Thanks for hanging out, man. Smash the like. I agree. If you guys have not already, please smash the like button. We're going to keep moving on. And I have another bet here. I have a bet on pretty much every prelim for the most part outside of the Romanov fight. So lots of action to start the card. And I did end up taking the dog shot here on Jay Perrin. It's a very close fight here. What I do like about Jay Perrin is he may not be the most talented fighter in the world. He may not be the best striker, the best wrestler, but he is going to come in there with a process. He's going to come in there with a game plan, unlike, say, Lupe Godinez. He's going to come in there, and he's going to be able to fight for 3 rounds. He has 5-round card. He has been 5 rounds before. He's going to push a pace, and I think he has what it takes to make this a very close and competitive fight. On the feet, you have to favor Richie Long. He's going to be landing the much harder shots, but Jay Perrin, if he does not like how it's going on the feet, he's going to push the fight against the cage, and he's going to go for takedowns. And he's somebody that just found out. Shout out to Uncle Weezy and Lou Betcha. They did an interview with Jay Perrin. It was like an hour-long interview, phenomenal interview. If you guys have not checked it out, go check it out on the MMA Engine. I guess Jay Perrin's training with Merab Dvalishvili. Like, that's his main training partner, Merab Dvalishvili. And he said, like, he was hanging in there with him. So I feel like Jay Perrin can go for takedowns. He will go for takedowns. If the first one gets stuffed, they'll go for another, rinse and repeat. And I feel like he could just make this a very grinding fight. And again, we're back to the high elevation. We are in Salt Lake City. Who is that going to favor? Somebody in Richie Long who does put everything into his shots, who does slow down as the fight goes on? Or is it going to favor a guy like Jay Perrin who has that unlimited gas tank? I think it favors Jay Perrin, but it's a close fight. You have the power of Richie Long. You have Jay Perrin, who I think can win minutes against the cage and on the mat. A fight that I feel like can really go either way. So give me that plus money. I took a half unit shot on Jay Perrin. I trust his fight IQ. I trust his cardio. I trust his process. And I'm going to take the dog shot on him. So Jay Perrin for the win for me, half a unit, plus 126 on FanDuel. I think that just moved to like plus 118. But yeah, plus money on Jay Perrin for me. From a DraftKings perspective, not really going to touch a Reach Long. I don't know if he knocks out Jay Perrin here. And by the way, his nickname's the Mongolian Murderer. If your nickname is the Mongolian Murderer, you better have like a better than a 37%. He has a 37% finish rate, and the dude's nickname is the Mongolian Murderer. Shanna Young has a higher finish rate than the Mongolian Murderer. Which doesn't make much sense to me, but he does hit hard. He does hit hard, but Jay Perrin has a very good chin. So no Arichi Long, or very few elite Arichi Long lineups for me, and I will have a decent amount of Jay Perrin for the wrestling upside there. All right, see what we got here. People are going crazy about the Yanamu. I like it. What an interesting question. Meatball agreeing Yananwu, absolutely. Woo kiss by SD. I would not kiss Harry Hunsucker. Big fan of him, but I wouldn't go that far. The correct answer was your wife, Brady, canceled. Yeah, the honeymoon's canceled. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. We will talk about that very soon, the Costa Rockhold. Perrin, yeah, if you guys have not seen the interview, I would 100% check out the interview. Perrin by sub sneaky spot. Arichi Long has been finished by sub twice. I'm kind of leaning more decision. Arichi Long looked way bigger. Absolutely. The dude was huge for 125, even big for 135. I don't know how he made him 125. Yeah, the altitude, yeah, definitely could. Perrin looks so small. Yeah, Arichi Long's a huge fighter. Arichi's more bigger. That is true. No arguing that. Is Jay Perrin the most popular dog on the card? The most popular dog on the card is probably, from a betting perspective, probably Jose Aldo. Or Marcin Tybura is a very popular dog. Leonardo Santos is a very popular dog. Wu Yanan is there's a lot of popular dogs on this slate. Jay Perrin, I don't know. I haven't really seen a ton of people on him. Yeah, I think Aldo's probably the most popular dog. Who's the lock this week? Nothing in MMA is a lock. You can research these fights for hours and see that, for example, Luque Godinez has a very big advantage in the wrestling, in the takedowns, and all that research can go to shit real fast because Luque Godinez decides to go out there and not shoot any takedowns and show up and fight injured. So nothing in MMA is a lock. Bruno Silva showed up drunk to the fights. I thought Bruno Silva would go out there and win the fight, but Bruno Silva showed up drunk. He looked horrible. He looked like he never fought in his life. I thought those were very confident picks for me. So as far as a lock on this card, I don't know. Tyson Pedro could show up drunk. Tyson Pedro can go in there injured. Nothing is a lock in this sport. Nothing. Gus with the dono 1 or $2.99. Appreciate you, Gus. Thank you for hanging out, and thank you so much for the dono. It does mean a lot, man. Shaw seen an interview where Hunsucker. Yeah, we'll talk about that interview. It was pretty hilarious. Am I safe with a Woodson Aldo money line? Rob decision hedge. I suppose if you want to do that. Lupe refused to take down. Y'all disrespecting the Hunsucker. No, I'm a big fan of Hunsucker. Yeah, Lupe was sick. She was dealing with injuries. She hadn't been training. It was shocking that she showed up to the fight. Any fights you don't like to go the distance? Yeah, we'll talk about a couple of them. The first one on the card, Altrano de Silva, was one I don't think goes the distance. All right, moving on. We have Amir Albazi going against Francisco Figueiredo. This is one of the parlay pieces I did get in on Sunday. I figured these lines are going to move, and they're going to move very fast, and this one did. So I did parlay Albazi at minus 390, and he is currently like minus 510. And I think it's a good matchup for him. Francisco Figueiredo, just, he's so low volume, lands, I think, less than 2 significant strikes per minute. Back to the altitude, right? Altitude, his cardio is horrendous. He's slowing down in every fight. Albazi, he's younger. He's taken a year and a half off. I do expect hopefully some improvements from Albazi, but the guy's striking is very good. His wrestling's very good. His grappling's really good. It's a very well-rounded fighter. He's going to have the higher output on the feet. He's going to have the better cardio. And I think he has Figueiredo covered pretty much everywhere. I think the grappling, at least early on, is going to be very competitive. Figueiredo is a very good grappler, but he just can't keep at that pace for 3 rounds. We saw him lose a round to Jerome Rivera on all 3 judges' scorecards in the 3rd round. We saw him lose 2 rounds to Malcolm Gordon. Amir Albazi submitted Malcolm Gordon in less than half of a round. So yeah, I think Albazi's in a good spot here. Figueiredo, how does he win this fight? I don't know. If he can't knock out Jerome Rivera, if he can't knock out Malcolm Gordon, is he going to knock out Albazi? I'm not sure. If he can't submit Malcolm Gordon, if he can't submit Jerome Rivera, is he going to submit Amir Albazi? I'm not sure. Is his cardio going to hold up for 3 minutes or for 3 rounds? I doubt it. So yeah, I do like Albazi, and I like him here as a parlay piece. I would not really mess around with the props on this one because I could see Albazi winning by decision. Figueiredo seems to be a very tough guy, seems to have very good submission defense. But I could also see Albazi getting a late finish here if Figueiredo does slow down like I expect him to. So I guess a play I was looking at was Albazi to win by either round 3 or decision. I'm not sure what the line is on that. That was kind of something I was looking at, but ultimately I did parlay Albazi. We'll talk about the other parlay piece in a second. And I do think Albazi does win this fight. From a DraftKings perspective, I actually don't have a ton of Albazi this week because I like Pedro more. I like Kamaru Usman more. I like Paulo Costa more. He's cheaper. I like Romanov more. I think Albazi wins this fight, but I do think it's probably by decision or like a late finish. So from a DraftKings perspective, I'm not really high on Albazi. I do like him more from a parlay piece perspective. I think he's one of the better parlay pieces on the entire card. Let's see what we got here in the chat. Pedro fight to not go is as much of a lock on this card as any. Yeah, I'd be pretty surprised if that fight went the distance. Shout out to Papa Chuck. People are saying shout out to Papa. Yeah, shout out to Papa Chuck. Shout out to him. Bad Figgy looked bigger at the face-offs. That is true. He did. He looked taller. Albazi, round 3 decision to Ching. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Albazi is going to be a problem at 125 due to super well-rounded, tough, and great cardio. Yeah. And I think he has a ton of great advantages in this fight. Have Amir in a few parlay. I have him in a parlay as well. You people are lucky Shanny Young got sick. Would have been Luque all over again. Yeah, you never know. You could be right, man. Random Maverick could go out there and say, today, I'm going to fight like a dumbass. I'm going to go out there and fight like a complete dumbass. And she could strike with Shanny Young for 3 rounds, and Shanny Young could edge out a close decision. You never know in MMA. All right, we'll keep moving on. We have AJ Fletcher going against Ange Loosa. I did take another dog shot here. I took it on Ange Loosa. Kind of waited throughout the week. I thought the line on Ange Loosa would get a little bit better. AJ Fletcher, a very popular fighter, lots of hype on him. But yeah, I took the dog shot on Ange Loosa, half a unit, plus 140 here. The reason being, I think this is another very, very close fight. When I looked through Ange Loosa's tape, what I looked for is a takedown defense. It more than checked out. His takedown defense is phenomenal. I really never saw him taken down. But if he got taken down, he's getting right back up. I've seen him go out there and implement his own takedowns, which, that could be on the table here. We saw Matt Semmelsberger go out there and take down AJ Fletcher. And when Fletcher's on his back, he really didn't show anything. Why can't Ange Loosa go out there and take down AJ Fletcher? Ange Loosa did take down Jack Della Maddalena. Had him in some trouble there in their fight on the Contender Series. But what I like about Ange Loosa is, again, the cardio, the toughness, the durability, the takedown defense, the 7-inch reach advantage. If AJ Fletcher does not take down Ange Loosa and hold him down, what does this fight look like on the feet? What does this fight look like with Ange Loosa having a 7-inch reach advantage? And again, we talk about the altitude. What is AJ Fletcher going to look like as the fight goes on? He slowed down in the Semmelsberger fight. He's someone that doesn't typically get out of the first round. And if he's going out there and trying to take down Ange Lusa and not having success, and how's that going to affect his gas tank going forward? So, yeah, I think it's a close fight. And I lean the dog here. I'm taking another dog shot. I'm taking 3 dog shots here on this card. This is the second one. First one's Jay Perrin. Second one's Ange Lusa. We'll talk about the third one in a little bit. But yeah, half unit Ange Lusa. I'm counting on that takedown defense. I'm counting on that cardio. I'm counting on that 7-inch reach advantage. And I think it's going to be a very close and competitive fight. So give me Ange Lusa for the upset. 7,800. This is not a fight I'm really in love with from a DraftKings perspective. I do think Ange Lusa has a very good chance to win. So for that reason, I do have some Ange Lusa exposure. But I kind of think this is a fight that goes the distance. Both guys are super tough, especially Ange Lusa. I've seen him take really hard shots against Jack Della Maddalena. I don't know how he didn't get finished in that fight, but just next level toughness for him. And AJ Fletcher is a dog in his own right. So the pick is Ange Lusa half unit plus 140. I think it's going to be a very close and competitive fight here. Yes, Ange Lusa, Fuk Poirier. Fletcher, more takedowns, minus 300, even it's a push. I don't know. A takedown from Ange Lusa, it wouldn't shock me. I don't know if that's a lock. Not touching this fight. Lusa by KO, that'd be interesting. I think if there's a KO, it's probably later in the fight. Lusa is not a finisher. Fletcher is tough. I like Lusa by decision. Yeah, as of late, Lusa is not a finisher. He used to be a finisher. I threw $8 on Perrin when the odds dropped to plus 250. Wow. Yeah, he was a huge dog. Hope you win, Mushroom. All right, we'll keep moving on, guys. We got to keep going. Sean Woodson, Luis Saldana. I do have a bet on this fight as well. I have a couple bets. So the first bet is I have a half unit on Sean Woodson to win inside the distance, plus 170. I have a quarter unit on Sean Woodson to win in round 2, plus 650. And then I have a quarter unit on Sean Woodson to win in round 3, plus 1,100. I think those second and third round props are very much on the table here against Luis Saldana, who he's a very good fighter. I like his skill set. He has a lot of tools on the feet. The problem with Luis Saldana is he has the worst cardio on the card. Somebody asked me on Twitter, I forget who it was, but he was like, rank who has the worst cardio in order. And I said, all right, it's a tough one. Harry Hunsucker has horrible cardio. Maybe it's better at light heavyweight. Maybe he has 3 minutes of gas instead of 2. Harry Hunsucker has horrible cardio. We have Luis Saldana, horrible cardio. Leonardo Santos, at this day and age, horrible cardio. We have Figueiredo, horrible cardio. Daniel da Silva, horrible cardio. Lots of guys with horrible cardio, and we are at elevation. Luis Saldana's cardio is horrendous. He's slowing down in the late first round. He is putting his hands on his hips, his hands on his knees during the fight. He's looking up at the clock. He's walking away. It's ugly to watch. It really is. And he's slowing down against guys like Souza. He's slowing down against guys like Lingo. He's slowing down against guys like Jordan Griffin. What is going to happen if he slows down against a guy like Sean Woodson, who's going to be coming forward, throwing a ton of volume and throwing with power as well? I think bad things are going to happen. So, how does Saldana win this fight? I think it's going to have to be an early finish, and I think that is a lot to ask here. Saldana is a great finisher outside the UFC, and that finishing ability has not translated. If Saldana does not finish Woodson early, Woodson's going to drown this guy. He's going to drown him with his volume. He's going to finish him in that second or third round. So I like Woodson. I like him as a parlay piece. I do not have him parlayed personally, but I think he is a good parlay piece. I think there's a couple good parlay pieces on this card. He's one of them. But I like him inside the distance, half unit plus 170. And then I also sprinkled a quarter unit on those second and third round props. I give Saldana about 5 minutes, if that. And I think he's going to start slowing down. I think Woodson's going to put it on him. And I think Woodson finishes Luis Saldana here in that second or third. From a DraftKings perspective, don't have a ton of Saldana. And I don't mind some Woodson at 8,800. Just know that Woodson probably does not have first round finish upside. He doesn't have any takedown upside. I think it's going to be a second or third round finish. So I think he's an okay play, but there are some other guys I do like more. But yeah, give me Woodson here. Woodson to finish 1, Luis Saldana. Any Woodson by KO here. I don't like Saldana. I'm not a big fan of Saldana. Saldana blocks punches with his face, especially when he's tired. I will admit it. Santos is my underdog play. Santos is going to blast Gordon in the first. A lot of people on Santos. I have Santos first round sub plus 2,000. Woodson, Hunsucker fight doesn't go. Main event over 2.5. Parlay seems promising. Yeah, I'd say it hits. Woodson inside the distance plus 150 on DraftKings. Yes, it is. Yes. Exactly. That's what I was saying. Those body shots are not going to help the cardio of Saldana. If you're Woodson, you go to the body early. It's going to pay dividends. I have Woodson to win this fight, and the fight starts round 2. Yeah, that's very good. I don't think there's a finish in round 1. I do think it comes in round 2 or round 3. So yeah, I like that. All right, guys. If you guys have not already, we're about 30 minutes in. Be sure to leave a like. Let's get those likes up. Also, subscribe to the channel. I'll be going live tomorrow for Best Bet, 2 hours prior to the prelims. Me, Blood Money, Narco Cop, and Wiz Bets. And then after those guys are off, I'm going to be bringing in some other people if you guys want to come in, talk their best bet, talk their favorite fight, and then also talk throughout the chat. 2-hour special for the pay-per-view. So come and check it out. All right. I agree, Mushroom. I agree. All right. We'll move on to the next fight. We have Jared Gordon going against Leonardo Santos. And I have 2 bets here. The first bet I have is the fight doesn't go to decision, plus 120, half a unit on that. I think it's pretty simple. Leonardo Santos early, Jared Gordon late. Santos is now 42 years old. Santos has gassed out in his last couple fights, gassed out bad against Clay Guida, gassed out against Bogatov, slowed down against Dawson a little bit. He's now 42. He's not getting any better. His cardio is not getting any better. But, skill for skill, I do think Leonardo Santos is the better fighter here. I think he's much bigger. I think he has phenomenal takedown defense. I don't see Jared Gordon taking him down, at least early. In terms of the striking, Santos much longer, much more powerful, and Jared Gordon has struggled a lot with getting knocked out. He's been knocked out 4 times. I believe 3 of those coming in the UFC. His chin's not good. And Santos, he hits like a truck. He has that BJJ background. Has not used it in years. It's been years since he's used it, but still has that BJJ background in his back pocket there. But he's more so using his hands nowadays, and he's throwing with a lot of power. He almost finished Clay Guida. He should have finished Clay Guida. The ref should have stepped in several times. He almost finished Bogatov. Was right there. And I think he very well can go out here and finish Jared Gordon in the first round. It's just, if this fight hits the second round, do you trust a 42-year-old Leonardo Santos at high altitude to have more than 5 minutes of gas? And I just don't. So this is a spot where if you like Jared Gordon, you take a look at the live betting aspect of things. I think Santos wins this first round more often than not, and I think Santos is very live to finish in this first round. So if you like Jared Gordon, why bet him at minus 255 when you can bet him in the second round? Probably got to pick him because Santos is going to be the better fighter while he's fresh. But the fight doesn't go. Half a unit plus 120. I also have a quarter unit on Leonardo Santos to win in round 1 by knockout. I know somebody said they had the submission. Again, Santos has that amazing BJJ background, but Santos has not used his submission game in 7 years. 7 years. He knocked out Kevin Lee. He knocked out Stevie Ray. He almost knocked out Clay Guida. He almost knocked out Roman Bogatov. He's not using that BJJ, right? He could have submitted Clay Guida. Guida's been submitted 20 times. Like, he could have submitted Clay Guida. He didn't want to. I think he knocks out Jared Gordon potentially in this first round, and it's plus 1,800. Like, I think that's his win condition. I think if Leonardo Santos wins this fight, it's by knockout in the first round. It's plus 1,800, quarter unit on it. I think it's worth the risk there, but I'm fully aware if this fight hits the second round, Santos is toast. And I think Gordon starts putting it on him and eventually finishes him in his own right. So fight doesn't go, covers both sides, but quarter unit, first round KO prop. Leonardo Santos, the first round prop on FanDuel's plus 900 last time I checked. I think those are good looks. From a DraftKings perspective, don't mind some Santos. If he wins this fight, there's a good chance it is in the very first round. So I will be having some Santos on DraftKings. All right. No way Santos can win a decision against Gordon, right? I'd be fairly surprised. I just don't think he has 10 minutes of gas at this point. I just don't. Yeah, that was like a 5-unit swing for me. One of the worst nights of my life. I had Santos straight bet. I was extremely confident in that. And then I had Santos to win in either round 1 or round 2. It's one of those fights where you're just shocked. You're just completely shocked. 50 punches, knees, elbows, unanswered. Keith Peterson, where are you at? Where are you at? Stop that fight. It was horrible. Anyway, going by first round, Santos by first round finish here. Gordon has a questionable durability, but if it gets late, Gordon dominates. That is exactly how I feel. That is a great way to break it down there. What's up, y'all? I took Santos via KO just to sprinkle plus 700. I think that's how he wins. What's up, Lord Tom? How about Pudilova? Decision win. Thanks and good luck. If she wins, it'll be by decision. I'll say that. But I will not be betting that fight, and I don't recommend anybody does so. Santos has a better shot to win inside the distance here. Yeah, he does. And on top of that, yeah, the finish only for Santos. The scorecards equals no action. It's plus money. Santos is going to win. Well, if he wins, hopefully it's in the first round and hopefully by knockout. Keith Peterson is an inconsistent ref. Absolutely. I mean, he wants guys to die in there. How do they not stop the fight? I don't know. I don't know. I would have stopped it several times. I'm so excited for the fights tomorrow. Me as well. All right, we can move on to the next fight here. We have Alexander Romanov going against Marcin Tybura, and tricky fight. Marcin Tybura, very popular dog, and I get it. This line's very, very wide on Romanov. At one point, I think Tybura was like plus like 340, and out of nowhere, it's a close fight because it's a tricky fight, right? You have Tybura, who's a BJJ black belt. Tybura, who's fought very good competition. Tybura, who has a very good takedown defense, solid cardio, okay striking. This is going to be Romanov's, not his toughest test, but one of his toughest tests. Juan Espino, probably being the tougher test. Juan Espino's a beast, and although he has 40, he's still a beast nonetheless, right? I guess the question I have is about the cardio of Romanov, but his physique has kind of changed throughout the last couple of years. So against Espino, he did not look to be in the best shape. And then nowadays, he's like coming in at like 239. He's looking a lot slimmer. And I wonder if that's because he did gas out in the Espino fight. I wonder if he's starting to really take his cardio, his strength and conditioning a little bit more serious. And he looks to be coming in at much, much better shape nowadays, which you like to see. I don't know. I don't have any bet in this fight. There's no props that are really sticking out. The fight doesn't go minus 225. I actually think this fight could honestly go to decision. But I don't know. I could see this fight playing out so many different ways. I just kind of want to stay away from it. I could see Romanov taking down Tybura. Romanov is very good on top. He has good ground and pound. He has a sneaky submission game. I don't think it's going to work against Tybura, though. And I guess the question is, how does Romanov's cardio hold up if he does not get to finish? Could he finish Tybura early? I suppose he could. Tybura has been knocked out 4 times. Tybura gets hurt in the first round in pretty much every single fight. So I guess it's on the table. It's just what happens if the fight does get extended. How does Romanov look in that second and that third round? From what we saw in the Espino fight, he doesn't look that good. But he does look to be in much better shape. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, this is a fight I'm going to be passing on. I've had a bet on every single fight up until now. And nothing sticks out. Nothing sticks out on this one. I'm going to pick Romanov to win at least 2 of those 3 rounds with the wrestling. I think striking is going to be very competitive. And then as the fight goes on, if Romanov does slow down, Tybura, he'll probably be there late and he'll probably have opportunities to get late finish. So give me Romanov to win at least 2 of the 3 rounds, or maybe even get an early finish potentially, but just no really confidence in that. From a DraftKings perspective, I think both sides are in play. Heavyweight fight. Both guys are good finishers. But yeah, the pick's Romanov, but just no bet on this one for me. Really like Tybura. I got him at plus 350. Yeah, you beat a ton of line movement there. 1.2 units win 4.2. I don't hate it. Romanov, yeah, I don't think that the forearm choke's going to work against Tybura. Let's see here. Marcin Tybura has the best takedown defense in history. I think there's value on Tybura. They're similar on the feet. He does have good takedown defense. I don't know if it's the best in history though. I love Romanov here. Yeah, not a lot of people are on the Romanov side. I love Romanov here. I took him inside the distance at plus 100. I love how Romanov is coming in weighing at 240. It shows that he's going to improve his cardio. He knows that he has to improve his cardio and he will be the champ. Yeah, that's a good point. He absolutely seems to be working on that thing. I wish I would have caught Tybura. Yeah, he was sitting there for a little bit at that crazy number. We got Sam Pierce with the dono 999. Appreciate you, Sam Pierce, saying, will the elevation of Salt Lake make the people gas more quickly than usual? And will Aldo gas from the pace plus elevation, or am I thinking way too much into it? I think so. And could Aldo potentially be somebody that does slow down because of elevation? Yeah, he absolutely could be. But I'm more so worried about fighters like Harry Hunsucker, who in general has 1 minute of cardio. He gasses out on the walkout. I'd be more concerned about Luis Saldana, who's slowing down in the first round. I'd be more concerned about Daniel de Silva, who's slowing down in the first round. I'd be more concerned about, Francisco Figueiredo, who's slowing down every fight. Whereas Jose Aldo, this is a 3-round fight for him. So I don't think it's going to matter as much. But yeah, Jose Aldo is probably going to slow down at this pace, at this altitude. But I don't think it's going to be as quick as like a Hunsucker or a De Silva, guys like that. I'm not as worried as those other guys. But yeah, appreciate the dono, Sam, and appreciate you hanging out with us on Friday. Romanov uses too much explosive energy wrestling, and that's going to get him at altitude. It could. If he can't land takedowns by the second, backer is going to get Onama flashbacks. Yeah, I agree. He does not improve that cardio. It could get very interesting. And there's no evidence that he has improved that cardio, besides him looking much slimmer, which we'll see what happens. Leon by decision plus 100. I got to sprinkle some on that. Yeah, you can sprinkle. You can sprinkle that. I will not be doing that. This line should be much closer. Everybody is like, Romanov will take Tybura down and finish him in the first round, but it's a huge step up. If Romanov will win round 1, I will live bet Tybura. Yeah, live bet it's not the worst look in the world. Tybura looked really sloppy against Volkov. Yeah, that was a very sloppy fight. Very sloppy, greasy fight. How likely is Pedro by sub? We'll talk about that fight next. Romanov, easy use sheep. How you think? You think a decision or you think a finish there? Please answer my super chat. I did. I absolutely did. Maybe this is our week to hit all our bets, and Maverick was going to screw us all. Yeah, anything can happen. Maybe the gods ruled in our favor. I wish they would have ruled in our favor last week with Luque, man. My goodness. Have a unit on Pudilova Yanan to be fight of the night. Do not sleep on this fight, folks. It'll be fireworks. I'm at a loss for words. I hope you didn't do that. Anyway, Aldo, I get the altitude is there, but Aldo doesn't gas in round fights and looked phenomenal in 5 rounds against Font. Yeah, I think the cardio issues are a little bit overblown. He looked fire against Marlon Vera for 3. Rob couldn't take down Dotson. I'm not as concerned about the whole cardio issue for Jose. Sorry, I mean that it's comments like this where it's, I hope you didn't do that. Why would you do that? Why would you do that, KJ? Anyway, I think the fight is a good decision for the Romanov fight. He'll KO Tybura on the feet or on the ground or gas out and get finished and quit. So you like the fight doesn't go. Yeah, on DraftKings, that's minus 165. Man. Okay, Jay, I don't know what's going on here. How much money would you pay to have Ariana Lipsky put you in a triangle choke? Nothing. Nothing. If anything, Leon would be a TKO finish. Yeah, we'll talk about the Leon fight. All right, we'll keep moving on. KJ, come on. We have Tyson Pedro going against Harry Hunsucker. Man, people are. First of all, they raised the price of the pay-per-view, right? People are now paying $80 for Tyson Pedro to go out there and beat Harry Hunsucker in 30 minutes. They're paying $80 for Lucy Pudilova against Yanan Wu. People are actually paying for this. I will not be paying for this. I will not be watching the fights. Unfortunately, I will be out. Hopefully on a plane. Man, $80 for these two fights? Are you kidding me? I mean, the last three fights are really good, but $80 to watch Harry Hunsucker? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I actually have two plays on this fight. I have the under 1.5 rounds parlayed with the De Silva Altrano under 2.5. That comes out to plus 106, and I have one unit on that. We'll talk about why, but I also have the fight doesn't go to decision in a parlay piece. I know you guys are saying it's minus 1,400. Actually parlayed it at minus 900 on Bovada. So beat some line movement there. Got some value on that minus 900 fight doesn't go to decision. And this is a fight where I would be highly surprised if this fight saw the second round. I would be shocked if this fight saw the second round, and I would just be completely flabbergasted if this fight went the distance. I would probably quit and never come back if something crazy like that happened, like this fight going the distance. Because Harry Hunsucker is a killer be killed fighter, 12 professional fights. He's never seen the second round. I mean, go watch this guy's fights against Dontel Mays. He goes in there, he gasses out in 30 seconds. You know, losing to Dontel Mays is a horrible look. Getting knocked out by Dontel Mays is an even worse look. You know what's worse than that? Tapping 2 strikes against Dontel Mays. You've got to be kidding me, Harry Hunsucker. You tapped the strikes against Dontel Mays, and that could happen here. Harry Hunsucker is a good hammer, but he is a horrible nail. When the tough gets going, he looks for a way out. He's been finished 5 times. 2 of those come from tapping to strikes, and 1 was against Dontel Mays. There's a reason Tyson Pedro is minus 800 here. I mean, this is a fight. Anything can happen. But Tyson Pedro is the much better fighter. Harry Hunsucker, although I'm a huge fan of him, he's not UFC caliber. And if you want to bet Hunsucker, you bet him in the first round. You bet him in the first 60 seconds because he has about 60 seconds of gas. And maybe his gas tank has improved coming down to light heavyweight. You got to think it does. But I don't know. I mean, Pedro can knock him out. Pedro can take him down and submit him. We saw Jared Vandera, who doesn't take down anybody, take down Harry Hunsucker and finish him shortly after. It's just a tough fight for Harry Hunsucker. So although I am a big fan of Hunsucker, I like the guy. And I don't know, Pedro should win. But yeah, under 1.5 in a parlay with the Silva Altrano under 2.5, and then also the fight doesn't go in a parlay. If this fight even sees the second round, I'd be pretty surprised. From a DraftKings perspective, I have a ton of Tyson Pedro, and as far as Harry Hunsucker, I do have a little bit because, again, this is a fight. Anything can happen. Harry Hunsucker, the ultimate dart throw, but I think Pedro rolls here and does it in the first round. All right, let's see what we're saying in the chat here. I have a half of a unit on Harry winning in round 1. Yeah, I mean, that's how he wins, and the odds on the Harry Hunsucker props are just crazy. At least $80 in spending will be hilarious. That is true. UFC putting Wu-Tang Yanan on the main card means the fans must pay to watch her greatness while losing her 4th in a row. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You think Pedro by submission is a solid? Yeah, it was like plus 400. I didn't mind that. Plus 275. I don't know. I mean, he could knock out Hunsucker. Harry Hunsucker brings 10 pay-per-views worth of entertainment. Yeah, the problem with that is it's a very good fight, entertaining fight. Maybe not for the hardcore fan. The hardcore fan has no clue who Harry Hunsucker is and never will. But for the casual fan, they'll have no clue who Harry Hunsucker is. But guys girls that are watching the cards each week, they know Harry Hunsucker and they're big fans of him because how can you not be a fan of Harry Hunsucker? The guy's awesome, man. Hunsucker and Wu on the same card, $80. Did we all die in MMA? Hell yes. Knocking out 2 and 2 cans. Hunsucker getting the KO. I think Hunsucker gets the KO. Harry has no heart. Quits at the first sign of adversity. Yeah, to say the least. Nothing is bettable anymore in this fight. Yeah, absolutely not. I got in very early on some things, and those lines have even moved as well, which is crazy. Like the fight doesn't go like minus 1450. I'm just here to remind y'all, you win against Angie, the parlay killer. That is all. Yeah, trust me, we've been talking about it a couple times. Shout out to Lupe Godinez. Love it. Hamdi is good. Yeah, he put off the upset against Dontel Mays. Pedro in round 1. How many units you down this year? None. I'm not down any units. So appreciate that though. And then you're saying what's good, man. So yeah, down no units, man. It's been a good year. But yeah, appreciate that. Fight to end under 60 seconds. I'm not sure what the line is on that, but man. All right. I hate people. I can't wait for this week off. I cannot wait for this week off. Anyway. All right, we'll keep moving on. Lucy Pudilova going against Yanan Wu. On the pay-per-view card. People are paying $80 for this. I will not be. Yeah, I'm not gonna break down this fight. I mean, what's there to break down? I would never bet on this fight. I would never think about betting on this fight. Wu Yanan's like 1-4 in the UFC. Pudilova got cut, beat like 4 bums, and she's now coming back. I don't know. Plus money, if anything, would be on Yanan Wu. But do I really want to bet it? No, I do not. Yeah, no bet here. Easy pass. Passing on Draftkings as well. If anything, it'd be Yanan Wu on Draftkings. But nothing. It's embarrassing that this fight is on the main card. You could put any other fight on the main card instead of this one. Any other fight. It's embarrassing. I see a mushroom in there. I stream fights. I never paid for not one ever. I would not say that out loud. Dana will catch you, man. No. Wu-Tang. Yeah, splits are live. Absolutely. All right, we'll keep moving on. We have the people's main event. This is the most talked about fight. This is the fight where we have a lot of people on Merab Dvalishvili, a lot of people on Jose Aldo, a lot of people on either side, and very passionate about it. Me, I am not as passionate as other people. I think it's a very close fight. I think it is a very, very close fight. And I do have 2 bets on this fight. The first bet I have is Jose Aldo. I took the dog shot. I have 3 dogs on this card that I took a half unit shot on. Jose Aldo is one of them. And I got him at plus 120. I don't know. It almost seems too easy. A lot of people are on Jose. And a lot of people are on Merab, but this line is kind of moving the other way. More money seems to be coming into Merab throughout the week. Aldo, 90% takedown defense. Some of the best takedown defense in the UFC history. This guy's takedown defense is elite. It's elite, to say the least. His takedown defense is so good. His get-up game is even better. I mean, you could take down Aldo, I guess you could. But good luck holding him down. No fighter has taken down Jose Aldo more than twice. Frankie Edgar took him down twice, and he had a total of like 57 seconds of control time to show for it. So it just seems like if Merab can't get down Jose Aldo and hold him down, if this fight plays on the feet, what does it look like? I mean, Jose Aldo is clearly a better striker, and it's not even close. It's not even close. But it's a close fight because Merab is going to go for 15, 20, 25 takedowns, 30 takedowns if he needs to. He's going to go for a ton of takedowns. And I think a lot of those takedowns are going to be stuffed. And I think Merab could potentially get takedowns here. I think he could, but I think it's going to be very hard to hold down Jose Aldo. And you got to kind of look at it this way. Dvalishvili is going out there and getting so many takedowns. 13 takedowns against Gustavo Lopez. You know what that tells me? He couldn't hold down Gustavo Lopez. 12 takedowns against Casey Kenny. You know what that tells me? He couldn't hold Casey Kenny down. 11 takedowns against Frankie Saenz. He couldn't hold Frankie Saenz down. So, yes, he's probably going to get takedowns here. But is he going to hold Jose Aldo down? Probably not. But it's a close fight. The reason I took Jose Aldo because this is a close fight. He is plus money. And if we are scoring fights based off of damage, that's how we're supposed to score fights, right? Based off of damage. Are they going to score Dvalishvili getting his takedown? Are they going to score stuffed takedowns? Are they going to score Merab going out there getting a takedown and Jose popping back up? Are they going to score that? Or are they going to score, when this fight is at distance, Jose Aldo landing the much better shots, the much harder shots, the much more damaging shots? Or are they going to score failed takedown attempts? I lean more towards the damage of Jose Aldo, but Rob is going to go for a ton of takedowns. He's relentless, and he can win minutes that way. So yeah, this fight I feel like can go either way. Are the judges going to score the damage that Jose Aldo is going to inflict on Merab when they're on the feet, or are they going to score Merab doing no damage, going for takedowns, failing on those takedowns, getting a couple, but Jose Aldo getting back up? I slightly lean Jose Aldo here at dog money. I have a half unit on him at plus 120. And then I also have a quarter unit on the fight to end by split or majority decision at plus 400. The reason why, just like I mentioned, are the judges going to score damage? Are the judges going to score failed takedown attempts with no damage from Rob? I don't know. Only they know that. Who knows if the judges will even be watching this fight? Sometimes they don't watch the fights. I think this fight has split written all over it, and it's plus 400. The fight to go to decisions like minus 200. This is such a close fight that I feel like can go either way. I think the split is very live here. So I did take a quarter unit on the split, plus 400. Also a half unit on Jose Aldo. From a DraftKings perspective, I do like the Merab side. It'd be foolish of me, although I do like the Aldo side, to say Merab is a bad DraftKings play. He's a good DraftKings play at his price tag. If Merab wins, he's going to score a ton. If Merab loses, he's going to score a ton. So from DraftKings perspective, I like Merab. From a betting perspective, I do like that plus money on Jose Aldo. Okay. See what we got here. Talking about Wu Non still. First fight feels like a pick 'em. Talking about the Silva fight. Yeah, that's a close fight. Aldo takes it. Jose Aldo KO. Potentially. Split decision. I'm kind of leaning the split as well. Let's go Aldo, baby. Dog or pass. Yeah, I think it's a clear dog or pass. But hey, a lot of people are very confident in Merab. I would only play Merab on DFS. I don't see Aldo scoring well with a win. I agree with that. Brady, enjoy the week off. Appreciate that. My mind says Merab, but my heart says Aldo. My mind says Aldo there. If Rob can't take down Aldo, then Sterling won't either. Are you saying Aldo is going to be champion again? You never know, man. You never know. Hard to pick one. Gun to head, say Aldo. Yeah, it's hard to pick. Give me the dog money. Jose Aldo first round sub. Rob is a can crusher. Rob is not a can crusher, but this is a big step up. I mean, Jose Aldo is not Marlon Moraes. Jose Aldo is not Cody Stamann. He's not John Dotson. He's not Gustavo Lopez. He's not Casey Kenny. He's not Brad Katona. He's not Terrion Ware. He is not any of those guys. So he's not a can crusher, but this is a step up. Fights aren't necessarily only based on damage. Damage is the number one criteria. At least it should be, but like I said, sometimes the judges don't know what they're looking at. Over 1.5, it should be safe. Merab will take the third round. I think is a different. Yeah, I would rather bet Merab live than lay minus 140 on him. Out of third round decision. What's up, Artem? How you doing? Decision only for who? Who? Fantasy, you could need. Yeah, if Merab loses, yeah, you don't need either of them. But if Merab wins, you're gonna need him. Mystic Lista with a $20 dono. Appreciate you, Mystic Lista, saying enjoy the honeymoon and the week off. Thank you so much. And saying if Aldo Merab was 5 rounds, I'd stack it on DK, and I wouldn't blame you. Merab puts on a crazy pace. Like even in his losses, this dude is putting up some phenomenal scores. So appreciate the dono. I will enjoy my week off. It does mean a lot. Appreciate that a ton. Looking for some violence. I agree. Aldo by KO, Merab by decision. Merab's a tough one to KO. But if there is a finish in this fight, I do think it's Aldo getting the finish. What is parlayed with Albazi? We'll talk about that fight soon. And then a couple more, and we'll keep moving on. Usman, the lock of the week. Nah, nothing to lock. I can see Merab having some success and control Aldo for some time, but I just can't see how will Merab deal more damage than Aldo. Yeah. I have a big bet on Aldo's money line. You have a small bet, but I think it's going to be close. We got Sam with another dono saying, I feel nervous about Costa. He looks great, but I have zero idea how Rockhold will look. And yeah, thank you for the dono. And we're about to talk about that fight now. So Paulo Costa, Luke Rockhold. I do have 2 plays in this fight. The first play is I'm going to close out a parlay here. I have 3 parlays on the card. This is the second one. The first one is Tyson Pedro, Harry Hunsucker under 1.5, parlayed with Altrano de Silva under 2.5, plus 106, 1 unit. The second parlay I have is Tyson Pedro, Harry Hunsucker, fight doesn't go to decision, parlayed with Costa Rockhold under 2.5 rounds, minus 162, 2 units on it. I really like both these spots. Luke Rockhold, he hasn't been to a decision in 10 fights. I think it's 11 fights, actually. The last time Luke Rockhold has been to a decision was back in 2012. 2012, July 14th of 2012. That's over 10 years. That's over 10 years since Rockhold's seen a decision. So, yeah, fight doesn't go decision as a parlay piece. Under 2.5 as a parlay piece. Somebody's probably getting finished here. And I think that's someone that is probably getting finished is Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold is coming off of a 3-year layoff. He has not won a fight in 5 years. And I still have a bad taste in my mouth after Luke Rockhold came out in his last fight against Jan Blachowicz and looked like complete crap. He looked washed. He looked done. And that was 3 years ago. So it's just hard for me to imagine Luke Rockhold taking 3 years off, dealing with injuries and such, dealing with other things outside the cage, taking 3 years off, coming back now at 37, almost 38, making adjustments, making improvements. I just find that very, very hard to believe. This is not an easy matchup to come back to against Paulo Costa. Not an easy matchup. Costa is obviously very physically strong. Costa has very good takedown defense, a very good get-up game. He's a black belt apparently in BJJ for what it's worth. But what does he want to do? He wants to come forward. He wants to pressure you. He wants to take your head off. And I think that's what happens here. Luke Rockhold's been finished 5 times, all by knockout. Again, the 3-year layoff. He hasn't been in there. He's now 37, almost 38. He can't take a punch. Costa hits very hard. I think Costa knocks him out and does it fairly early. So give me Paulo Costa to get the job done, and probably in the first round. I do have a 2-unit bet on Paulo Costa straight. Shout out to Shanny Young for this. I had Paulo Costa in a parlay with Miranda Maverick. Shanny Young showed some very good fight IQ, very good game planning, and she actually pulled out of the fight against Miranda Maverick so she couldn't lose, which is a shame. I was pretty upset about it because I beat the Miranda Maverick line by like over $2. I got her at like minus like three is like minus 370, minus 360, something like that. And she was like minus 670 Miranda Maverick. But I also beat the line on Paula Costa. I got up 2 units on him, minus 285 on Sunday. A lot of money's coming on Paula Costa, and rightfully so. I think Costa finishes Rockhold. So I have 2 units on Costa straight, minus 185. And then I have 2 units on the fight or the under 2.5, minus 220, parlayed with the Hunsucker Pedro. Fight doesn't go the distance, minus 900 for a grand total of minus 162, and then 2 units on that. So a lot of my night comes down to Paula Costa going out there and getting a finish. And I think I feel pretty good about that. So from a DraftKings perspective, I like Paula Costa a lot. I think he's underpriced. I think he knocks out Rockhold. If Rockhold was to come back and show up and look like his old self of 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, then yeah, he could beat Costa. It's just hard for me to believe that he's going to show up after a 3-year layoff and look good here. So we'll see what happens. Much from saying Costa KO. Rob saying at 234 in the chat, only 47 likes. I don't get paid for this. Let's bump up those numbers a bit here. Come on, yeah. If we can get like 100 likes by the time we get out of here, that'd be much appreciated, guys. We are almost halfway there. Do appreciate all the likes, guys. Costa around 2 KO plus 500. Got Costa by finishing all to the under 1.5. Yeah, don't mind the under 1.5. Costa first round KO or second round. Costa isn't taking this. He doesn't take anything serious. Aldo lock of the night. Yeah, I do like me some Jose Aldo. I think it's a close fight though. We got Vince saying, Brady, what is up, Vince? How you doing? I've seen at Pedro's BJJ live. The plus 375 subline of him is insane. Yeah, he's very good on the mat. Severe ring rust. Yeah, 3 years is a long, long time. Paulo seems to be in a different mindset, a healthy one. He seems to have his act together and looks lighter and shredded. Yeah, he seems to be in very, very good shape. And I did see the Paulo Costa wins. Absolutely. That was funny. Costa only has 1 first-round knockout in the UFC. Yeah, he has like three or so in the second round. Let me see. He had a second-round knockout against Uriah Hall, a second-round knockout against Johnny Hendricks, a second-round knockout against Bong Bose, and yeah, so 3. He has 3. And then he has 1 first-round knockout against Gareth McClellan. And then the rest are losses. Marvin Vettori loss, Adesanya loss, and then he did beat Romero by decision, but he did knock down Romero bad. I feel your pain. I had Miranda all day. I was going to have a ton of action on Maverick. Smartest move of Shandy Young's career. Yeah, just great fight IQ there. Costa destroys Luke. I agree. 34 units on Yanan Wu. I would not do that. I want Luke to win. Anything can happen. Prince of Mischief saying, good stuff, Brady. Appreciate that. Paulo was on the secret juice. You cashing this? Yeah, he is on that secret juice. That is for sure. Rockhold by KO is the biggest lock of the year. Yeah, Rockhold by KO is plus 1,000. So Melon giving out a plus 1,000 lock of the year. We will definitely find out. All right, guys, we have the main event. I do want to remind you guys I will be going live tomorrow for Best Bet 2 hours prior to the prelims. Come check it out. Going to give the Best Bet, me, Blood Money. We got Narco. We got Wiz coming on there on Saturday. And then after those guys are done, I will be bringing on anybody that wants to come on and talk some fights. Feel free to do so. Talk your favorite bet. Talk your favorite fight. And then I'll also chat with the chat a little bit. All right. Main event. Kamaru Usman, Leon Edwards 2. A lot of people are on Leon Edwards, and yeah, Edwards has a huge fan base. You may not notice it just on your average day, but when Leon Edwards fights, you certainly do notice it, especially as a content creator. Because when I'm doing content, you notice these things, right? Like when Leon Edwards fights, people are very excited about it. A lot of people are big fans of this guy. I've gotten a lot of comments this week about Leon Edwards. And there's a lot of narrative things going around on this fight. The first, and then they're pretty, I don't know. I find it kind of funny because a lot of people are picking Edwards to win, and that's fine. But the reason they're picking Edwards to win is just doesn't make a ton of sense. It's more narrative based. So here are the reasons people have been saying Edwards is going to win. The first one is Usman's knees are not good. And yeah, Usman has been saying that, but the narrative is Kamaru Usman is going to come out here for 25 minutes and he is not going to wrestle. That's the first narrative. He's not going to wrestle for 25 minutes. And he didn't wrestle against Gilbert Burns. He didn't. But we got to use common sense. Why didn't he wrestle against Gilbert Burns? Right? He didn't wrestle against Colby Covington, but we got to use common sense. Why did he not wrestle against Colby Covington? He wrestled against Jorge Masvidal in their first fight. He wrestled a little bit in their second fight. Got 2 takedowns in the first. I just find it hard to believe that Kamaru Usman's going to come out here and shoot 0 takedowns. I find that very hard to believe. The other narrative is that he's not going to strike. He's not going to strike. He's not going to strike because he had surgery on his wrist. Right? Those are the 2 narratives. He's not going to wrestle because of his knees, and he's not going to strike because he had surgery on his wrist. So basically, Kamaru Usman is going to go out there and he's not going to strike and he's not going to wrestle. And that's how Edwards wins. And yeah, that is, if that's the case, I agree. If that's the case, then I agree. Usman probably loses if he's not going to wrestle and if he's not going to strike. I just find all those things kind of narrative-based, though, kind of wishful thinking. I'd be shocked if Usman doesn't wrestle here. I'd be shocked if Usman doesn't wrestle. I really would. Usman's going to wrestle. Usman's going to wrestle. I struggle to find a path to victory for Leon Edwards. Can somebody tell me how Edwards wins this fight without saying something about Usman's knees, without saying something about the wrist surgery, without, I don't know, how does Edwards win this fight? Is he going to stuff the takedowns of Kamaru Usman? I don't see it. Is he going to be able to stay off the cage against Kamaru Usman? I don't see it. Is he going to outstrike Kamaru Usman across 25 minutes? He could. If Usman shoots 0 takedowns, it's going to be a close fight. You got to favor Edwards in the striking, but Kamaru Usman has shown a ton of power as of late. Kamaru Usman, 7 knockdowns his last 5 fights. His striking has improved so much since their first fight. So much. I don't know. I think Usman wins this fight more often than not. I think it'd have to be I don't know. Unless Luque Godinez is in Usman's corner shouting, hey, don't wrestle. Don't wrestle. Unless that's the case, Usman should be able to take down Edwards, should be able to hold him down, should be able to hold him against the cage. And Usman has really good cardio. I don't know. I like Usman here quite a bit. So I do have Usman in a parlay. I have 2 units on a Kamaru Usman, Amir Albazi parlay, -163 to close out the night. I don't mind the Usman 4-5 decision as well at -145. The only problem for me is I keep betting Usman 4-5 decision. I did it against Gilbert Burns. I did it against Jorge Masvidal, and he keeps going out there and knocking guys out. That's the only problem I have. But I don't know. I think Usman 4-5 decision is a good look. I think Usman is a good parlay piece. But a lot of people are on Leon Edwards. A lot of people are on Leon Edwards. I've been hearing it all week. Oh, Usman's knees are bad. He's not going to wrestle. Yeah, and a lot of people hate. I think another case is a lot of people hate Kamaru Usman. A lot of people hate Kamaru Usman. And a lot of people love Edwards. Edwards has a huge fan. One of the most underrated fan bases, Leon Edwards. Every time he fights, you hear about it. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I like Usman. I like Usman on DK. I think Edwards is fine value play on DK if you want to save some salary. I don't know. Yeah, give me Usman though. All right, guys, we'll answer a couple more questions, then we will head out of here. Talk about that Usman knee surgery. Yeah, and those knees, man. Zero saying I'm on Edwards. Leon Edwards has a chip on his shoulder, 6 canceled fights, shit on by UFC and fans. He's hungry. I bet he is. Usman is going to destroy this man. Usman round 4 plus 875, round 5 plus 2275. That Burns KO is nasty. Yeah, it was. Jacob Lyons has Edwards as his lock of the week. Hey, we'll see what happens. Usman takedown prop is 3.5. On what? Usman 5th round. Usman had a limp walk into the scales this morning. He may have had a rough cut. Maybe. Usman to land more takedowns is minus 225 on Betway. My goodness. Okay. Wow. Usman is going to clinch. I think so. Usman's trying to wrestle. He wants to see how good his wrestling has gotten. Yeah, I think he should wrestle. You think Usman knocks out Edwards? It wouldn't shock me. Usman's been hitting hard, man. KO punch. He's got to wrestle his cardio way better. The elevation is so high. Edwards lives and trains at only 36 above sea level. Yeah, the elevation definitely does favor Kamaru Usman. Usman sleeping. Yep. We'll call him boring, but he's not been boring lately, though. Yeah, that's another narrative. He is doing some Black Panther too, so he may not be as focused on Leon like Woodley wasn't focused on Usman when he was dropping that awful album. Absolutely. Leon Edwards might steal a split. Yeah, I think if Edwards wins, it is probably by split. Because is he gonna knock out Kamaru Usman? I don't think so. Edwards has only 2 knockouts in the UFC, and he's been in the UFC for a while. I know he hasn't fought a lot, but only 2 knockouts, and he does have maybe 1 submission. He's gonna submit. Yeah, he's 1 submission, 2 knockouts. Other than that, they're decisions. So I think if Edwards does win, it will be by decision. Edwards can beat him on the feet, and we'll see if his wrestling has improved. Remember, he fought Bilal and kept it standing. That is true. Just a big difference between Bilal and Usman, though. Narratives that Leon stuffing all takedowns and is really good off in the clinch, able to keep things standing where he will outpoint him. Fair enough. If you think that, then yeah. Sorry, Brady, the value is on Leon. I don't think so. I think the line is about right, or it could even be a little bit wider. But yeah, I could be wrong. Brady, what was worse for you unit-wise? McKenna. Pride-wise? Luque. Like, what kind of terrible... It was only like a 2-unit loss, but still. Terrible game plan. Brady still... Yeah, how can I not? I'm going to be salty about that for the next several months. Appreciate that, Rob. Aldo by decision for me. If he doesn't wrestle or strike, what is he going to do? Go out there and that's what people think. You know, those knees, his wrists. How's he going to fight? I don't know. Yeah, I don't think he's using. I think he's put in a ton of work. Great show, Brady. Good luck on the honeymoon. Let's cash tickets. Violence, yes, sir. 15-0, and now people want to doubt this man after dominating Colby twice, who would have destroyed Leon. Oh, don't say that. You're gonna upset a lot of people. But yeah, he's beat Colby twice. He's beat Masvidal twice, and I think he does beat Leon twice. 60 on Hunsucker to win in round 1, plus 1,200. Yeah, some big odds on the Hunsucker prop. There is a chance. I'm picking Romanov, but no confidence. No bet on that fight as well. All right, we'll quickly go over the bets. 3 dog shots. Jose Aldo, half a unit, plus 120. Half a unit on Angelusa, plus 140. Half a unit on Jay Perrin, plus 126. I have 3 parlays. The first parlay, Amir Albazi, parlayed with Kamaru Usman, minus 163, 2 units. I have the fight doesn't go in the Pedro Hunsucker fight, parlayed with the under 2.5 in the Costa Rockhold fight, 2 units, minus 162. I have the under 1.5 in the Hunsucker fight, parlayed with the under 2.5 in the Silva fight, plus 106, 1 unit. I have 2 units straight on Paulo Costa, minus 285. I have a half a unit on the fight doesn't go in the Santos Gordon fight. I have 1 unit on the fight doesn't go in the De Silva fight, minus 185. I have a quarter unit on Leonardo Santos to win by round 1 knockout, plus 1,800. I have a half a unit on Saldana, Woodson to win inside the distance, plus 170, half a unit. And then Woodson to win in round 2, quarter unit plus 650, and then Woodson to win in round 3, quarter unit plus 1100. Rob, Jose Aldo, someone wins by split or majority decision on DraftKings plus 400 quarter unit. And yeah, those are the bets. Those are the bets. Will not be able to watch the card. I will be on my way to Florida, enjoying the week off for my honeymoon. Should be a fun time. So I'll probably catch up on the fights later in the week. But yeah, hoping to close out this 12-week stretch with a dub. Leon versus Colby would be very interesting. I agree. Leon versus Masvidal will be interesting as well. Thank you for your view on this card. Wish you all the luck on your bets. Good luck to you as well, Lord Tom D. The way Edwards wins is by split or KO. Usman doesn't get credit for how amazingly bad his defense is, and is a possibility with how he blocked all those hooks from Burns with his head. Yeah, I mean, it's a fight. Anybody could knock out anybody. Edwards not much of a power puncher, though. Does Saldana have a path to victory? I think his path to victory is a first-round finish because he doesn't have cardio to go 2-3. So if Saldana wins, I expect an early finish. I just don't really expect that. Just stream the fight on the flight. That's a good idea. Decent idea. All right, guys. Gonna head out. If you guys have not already, I am doing a contest on Twitter. It's my pinned tweet. Since it is Harry Hunsucker fight week, I did a contest to see who can get closest guess for Harry Hunsucker significant strikes landed. If you guys want to go check out that contest, at this point, I think everything 20 and below is already taken. So if you guys want to be contrarian and guess like anywhere from 20 to 40 significant strikes for Hunsucker, go for it. Winner gets 25. If you get it on the dot, I'm going to double it to 50. Other than that, leave a like on your way out. Subscribe to the channel. Be back tomorrow, 2 hours prior to the prelims. Look out for the betting breakdown video. Should be out now. And yeah, guys, that's about it. Best of luck. Let's win some money. And we'll talk to you guys very soon. Enjoy the week off. I know I will.